Ladies and gentlemen, here they are, late to the gate and racing out of lane 8. Your men, Dex, Boota and Issitt.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Bikes to the van, phone in hand, BMX track in the foreign land. Dex missed his flight, Issitt's late. I don't know why we're late to the gate. And bikes, we ride all night. Euro trips and rider hype. From nationals to car park chats, we chase that dream in no era caps. Sugar daddies in the VIP. BMX moms still faster than me. Dex and Boota, Issitt too. Talking trash, we ride it true. Baggy jeans and studded belts. The body is chaos, nothing else. Clips or flats, deadlifts or squats. Still arguing like it means a lot. Crank it up to 99. UK tracks with Euro lines. We're all whistle, we talk a lot, but for real, this is all we've got. Late to the day, y'all.
Late to the gate, back after the Worlds. When last we spoke, I was on my back deck. We had a really, really quick roundup before the Worlds, but you've been there, you've come back, you've made the trip, and we haven't had any pre-chat, so I don't know anything that's gone on.
It went on.
Well, it seemed like it was a good one because, and you always have that afterglow when you come back from an epic trip, but, you know, you two seemed like you were emotionally connected to that world.
Yeah, Mrs. says I was miserable for 2 days after. Like, I had a come down.
Yeah, it
It's
was
a
like,
city, innit?
there was, I think it was like contrasting, wasn't it, Sean? It was like racing wasn't actually that great. I wouldn't say it was like the all-time. Track and venue, will come on to opinions about that, but it's just the feel of it was a good feeling, and at least we had a great time, didn't we?
It did a job. Like Boots hit the nail on the head. It was. There's some things that I'm ready to lay into, and some things was bang on.
Was there plenty of Brits there? Did you connect with some good people?
We did connect with a lot of good people. Not many Brits there. Like, we had some blast from past. We caught up with, like, we had dinner with Liam Phillips. That was cool. Antoine and the WCC lot. We ended up having a few drinks after that, so that was cool. That was a nice little catch up.
Thanks, UCI.
Did you tell him we liked his Coffee Chatter podcast?
We spoke about that. We went into a bit more detail in terms of the Kettle Kids and some deals there, but yeah, it was nice to catch up. It was weird because he just texted me out of the blue, wasn't he? And it was like, let's go grab some dinner, and it was like, yeah, why not? He was travelling alone, you see, so he was there. Liam was there purely just for to coach Zoe. And he said, I think he's okay with me saying this. He said he's just going to keep coaching until she wins a world. So this could be my last one, because this is obviously before the Worlds. This could be my last one. And then at the end of the day, he texts me straight after, like, well, I guess we'll go in again, kind of thing.
Yeah, did she get fourth?
She could have, she could have quite easily won, but she just didn't do it. She needed gate 1, basically, in the final, and she didn't get it. And Beth had an absolute worldie.
Screamer. Absolute screamer.
It was.
Well, let's get into all the racing in a bit. So dinner with the UCI lot. Well, I'm jealous. That sounds like a great connection.
That was cool. And then we caught up with a lot of people in the after party. But let's not do after party yet. Let's make people listen. We can't.
Yeah.
Be,
well,
we can't be going straight into that.
If we were sensible broadcasters, we'd tease that, wouldn't we? We'd kind of pretend there was a story that was really interested, and then we just leave it right to the end.
There's a few.
Well, stay tuned.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So you picked up your bags on a morning and you got on the plane. Did you meet at the same airport?
I actually drove to Boota the night before. Drove to Boota to Crewe, and then we got.
Yeah.
Well, I drove to Boota on that night, Thursday night, thinking that we were getting up dead early and we needed to rush on the Friday. We didn't get a train till like 10:30. So we got a squeeze with no kids lying. So
easy. Where'd you fly from?
Manchester, and our boy was there, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, so we didn't know this. We were sitting waiting literally in the gate, and Ross turned up. So the story goes that he was, I think his mum and dad were out anyway, weren't they, Sean? And then he came in
the day before, didn't they?
He basically booked it late, so it was good. Got a few minutes with him just before we went out, and then saw him a bunch of times when we were over there, didn't we? And then obviously flew back.
Brilliant. How was he feeling?
I mean,
He's
I think
obviously gutted, isn't he?
he's gutted. Yeah, he's heartbroken in terms of this could have been the one that he could have really made a mark on. You know, with winning the World Cup, and the way he won that World Cup was a marker to say, like, he could have come out and made this world's his own. I think he's really mature, really professional athlete in the way of, like, his recovery is going really well. He's been assured that, like, the surgery was amazing and it'll be stronger than ever. So I think that's encouraged him somewhat. Obviously gutting. I can't imagine when it's being in the stand thinking I've beat all these guys this year.
Yeah.
And you're sitting in the rain and they're actually out there. I can't imagine
it must
what
be
that feels
tough.
like.
He's giving it full red light, hyperbaric chamber, everything, isn't he?
He's got a deal with them. I tell you what, 350 quid a go, and he's getting it all through sponsorship, and he's just basically doing a few reels for them and things like that. The guy is a genius in terms of marketing and things. On that point, actually, he does want to link up with us and do some kind of giveaway. So stay tuned, people, for an RC22 Ross Cullen giveaway, maybe in the next
Sounds
episode.
great. We better double check on
So-
T's and C's and everything, aren't we? That's the sort of thing we'd fall foul of, but I'm up for that.
Oh, the classic.
Nah.
Yeah. That's exactly our kind of style. Inaccurate. But Ross is great.
I've said it now, he's in.
Yeah, he's in.
It's done.
He gave us that indication. So it was wicked seeing him. And yeah, we just wished he was on the track, really.
The AP 130 lot, they did the job though, didn't they? They're the best little fan group, innit? We're a close second on the RC22, but they did a job for him.
So you saw him, so you got on the flight, you got there, accommodation was right by the track. What was the venue like?
He wants to rip into the venue first. I think we might have lost Sean.
I think we might have lost him.
Fucking
He'll come
internet.
back in a minute.
He'll come back. So basically, in terms of feedback for the actual event or the location, shall we say, 5K from the airport to the venue. So brilliant, amazing. We just got on a line bike. We rode down. Our hotel's probably about 400 meters away. Every pro team seemed to be staying there, so it was absolutely bang on. The venue felt like it was put together a little bit late, almost as if like it was like a temporary venue. So just to give you a bit of flavour, the pits were just basically all just on mud because it's like a motocross track beside it. So all of the rain that came down, that was just hell. And apparently the pits were like floating on water. People would go through the pit and the water would shoot up through the gaps in between the tarpaulins, and then the trading area was just a mess. Just really like badly, like not even gravel. Like you'd expect being in Northern Europe that they'd put some kind of like weatherproofing down and that it would be, they'd kind of have an idea that it could be absolutely drenched. And it wasn't. And it was like the stand, I think it was a sellout for most days. And I think that the challenge days, there were people that struggled to get tickets, like parents, which is obviously really crap considering you come around the world and you can't see kids. They had a VIP stand on the last straight, which was never filled. So I don't see that as a great investment. I think that was maybe ill-founded. Maybe it was more popular with the locals than they figured it would be. So it had lots of potential, but then there was lots of detail around the layout. I think someone told me that their pit was 300, 400 metres away from the back of the start hill. So you can't look after your athlete it was really challenging conditions for them. Super challenging because they just couldn't, there was nowhere to warm up. So, the bike, like you come off your lap, you'd skid into a barrier because the venue is so tight, and then you'd have to walk your bike, carry your bike over mud and dirt to take yourself out the venue to get onto the main road. So I think basically the venue itself, it wasn't big enough for a world champs. Now me and Sean, we didn't see it as it was in challenge. Obviously we were there Friday till Monday, but it just felt like it was a bit rushed, maybe a little bit challenging. They could have done a bit more.
Everyone weren't happy, were they? Like they were even told they can't ride the bikes in and around that area. So it was literally warming up on a bike that's in your tent. No one could ride around. Basically, the elites weren't happy.
So they
It was
weren't
crap.
allowed. What the organizer said, don't go riding here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, you know, like behind the start line towards the pits, all the like the staging area, like don't go on your bike. But then they had to walk through mud to take
It was
themselves
a mess
out
because we
out the
walked
venue.
it.
Yeah,
We went and walked through it, and it was a mess. There was pallets everywhere. It seemed like that was the thing. Pallets, even like visually, it looked crap around the track as well because it was like scaffolding on the start hills and things like that. And it's like someone was like, "Shit, we got a Worlds in a couple of weeks. We need to sort this out." It was all a bit last minute. It seemed the racing itself was okay, but it just everything else just seemed a bit. Meh.
Yeah, a bit thrown together. Just on that stands thing, this is a public service announcement. Brisbane's going to be great, but for parents that didn't get tickets in Copenhagen, I reckon, and this is just because of the geographical layout of that track, I reckon they'll be difficult to get a stand ticket. I don't reckon there's going to be as many stands as you want, and I reckon it's going to be really, really populous. Get in early if you want tickets for that.
Good shout. Good advice.
Yeah. I don't know how much actual I think the ticket just sold out, and there was a little bit of, we touched on it last week, didn't we, where we said that is there any area around the track? There was a little bit of a bank on the first turn where a lot of people went because of how rainy it was, because we were like absolutely drenched, weren't we, Sean? Just completely. Well, you saw some of the reels and videos going around where it was just they were bucketing water off the first straight. And then now we'll touch on the track. The track, the surface was just soft. It wasn't like a limestone. So they just ran in huge ruts on like practice days, and it was visually so much softer and so much slower. And I just don't understand for a Northern Europe track why that would be the case.
Yeah, again, it looked like they just surfaced it the week before and just put a load of surface on, and it just rutted. Like the worst thing is, it was like the water wasn't even rolling. We said whoever tarmac to the bottom of that hill needs sacking because it had no runoff and it was just puddling and it was a mess, the whole thing. But it produced, didn't it? It produced some exciting racing. And once we to be fair, day 2 we just went and stood at the end and made sure that we could stand up because you couldn't sit down because you'd just be piss wet through, and we could have a brolly, although I think rule on brollies, you can have a brolly up, but then as soon as the gate drops, you need to put your brolly down and just take it.
So when the
put your
racing
brolly back
starts,
up.
put it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw you moaning about that on Instagram, and those mics sounded really good. They were good quality mics.
They were good. We did have some fails. Like we thought we'd do a little RT interview with Liam Phillips walking to the Indian restaurant that we went to, but that one didn't work. And I think it might have been the rain and like the umbrella. Yeah. So it was, we were filming it from a little bit further back, and then like Sean was walking with him. But on the whole, brilliant. We just didn't get sort of chance because it was just one of them rainy ones where everyone would do their lap and then just disappear. And I don't think it didn't have as good a feeling it would have been if it was a sunshine one.
We were devastated that we didn't mic up for the after party, though, weren't we? That would have been wild funny.
I come through with some ideas afterwards.
Oh man, yeah. I had my mic on whilst I went toilet, and you can hear everything. Kaylee thought that was well funny that Boota was filming just a toilet, and you can hear me just talking to myself, basically.
Should have got some interviews done. So the surface, one thing I did notice from watching it back is there was a lot of just mad deviations down the first straight. So coming down the start gate, maybe getting over the first roller, and then loads of clips with bikes just going in all different directions and clashing into each other. Was that because it was so loose?
The first straight, the first jump, which we didn't realise until we sat with Ben Cornish, he came and sat with us after he went out in the semi, is different on the inside compared to the outside. The outside was actually very, very mellow takeoff, whereas the inside was quite steep, he said. And then when we actually looked at it, you could actually physically see it. So I can imagine there was a bit of, depending on what gate you were, there was a different kind of feel to that first jump.
Because there was a lot of lane oneers moving out to the outside when they were coming down that style, and that might have been a cause of some of that contact on the first straight. And that's what it was. It was a bit of a crew first straight, really sharp on the inside.
Yeah.
According to the junior boys, yeah.
You could see it because we were based on the bottom of the start hill, really, and you could see how that first jump was sort of banked towards you a little bit. And then when you take an aerial view of the track, you kind of realise that you're better just widening your angle as you land on that triple to get round the turn, because you're almost pointing like the other way. I just think there was a lot of nerves. Rain obviously just caused a lot of people to maybe not have the best day.
So, having watched that track, all, challenge days, elite days, what was the move on the end of the first straight on that triple? Because I saw both, up to the moon. I saw double manuals.
Championship,
jump in,
you have to send it. For the championship, there was no other way. You have to send it. Obviously, the girls struggled a little bit on the Sunday with the rain, but Zoe was committed. She was the only one that actually jumped in practice. I got that wrong. I did say that no elite woman had jumped it in practice. She'd done it before we got there, and she was the only one that sent it in her quarter as well on the Sunday. We sent a message, and I think, to be fair, there weren't many that jumped it throughout the day. It wasn't till semis where they started. About 3 of them sent it. You had to jump it. There was no other way because the landing was harsh if you were just going to go 2 in, 1 out.
Yeah, you just sent it to flat. Then the girls were like right at that cusp of needing to do it. And like even in the main, like Sarah and Beth, they both straight leg it. They both send it. Like it's a pull. I normally like that kind of differential, but I do feel a bit sorry for them because in the dry, everyone was doing it. Freya was doing it. So they were doing it in juniors.
I mean,
What about challenge
jumping the
then?
jump into the last corner, were they?
That was it. Yeah, it
Because
just
that's how soft that track was.
there was just like 1.5 seconds in time difference in between a wet and a dry lap. You could just really tell. But I do still like what I said before, and I do still like the fact that those jumps exist. That differential in challenge, the triple. It seemed like you had to do it if you wanted to compete at Masters. You had to do it if you were in like 17-24, like the very top end, and that double at the end of the third straight.
We need to shout out Tyrese here, by the way.
Yeah,
Tyrese Bradshaw overshot it by about 5 foot, probably more. He flat bottomed it.
It's the only one I've ever seen do it.
Huge. He
must have done
said
like 40
he needed.
footer, yeah.
He said because we saw it as we were taking off. He landed. No, that's a lie. As we landed, he was taking off in Copenhagen. So we kind of crossed paths, and we were talking about it. And he said that he saw someone struggle over it like a couple of races before. So he fully macked at it, pulled, and was like, "Shit, there's the landing. I've missed it by a mile."
He had some good laps, actually.
Yeah,
He did incredible to get fourth. Yeah, could have won it, but fourth's absolutely amazing achievement. In that class with that many French that really could be in elite.
That's going to light his hunger even more because he wanted that. He wanted that top spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what I wanted to do on the subject of results is I wanted to go through and kind of shout out everyone that made a W plate. But here's my little rant. I wish the organisers would make it easier to get into these results. I just wanted to find a website with every race and just the 1-8s. And it's just, and maybe I'm looking in the wrong place.
The challenge is on scores, isn't it?
It's on scores. There's like the top 3 are listed, and then you've got to click through. So, which is fine, unless you're doing a podcast and you haven't done any research and you want to do it on the fly.
I mean, we'll leave the challenge lot to the 96 podcast. They can go through and do that. We'll shout out what happened in the championship. We flew in and out for that, didn't we?
Did you feel like you were just fully elitist?
Not elitist. What did Liam call us? Super fans, didn't he? He said we need more super fans like you, basically.
This is the problem. The problem was with that we soon realised what we knew beforehand. It's expensive. You can
4-day grant.
It's not cheap to do it. A beer on offer is like 8 or 9 quid.
Yeah.
So it's not the cheapest way of doing it. And then you go out for a meal and you're looking at it's like 25 quid for a basic main is the norm.
Some people spent some cash at the after party. Let's put it that way.
Well, we need to get on to that.
We can't.
What I will say is before we get off the challenge, and because I always like to look at the old boy races, is how legit is kind of 35 plus and those classes coming. You're looking at names and you're going, oh geez, were they elite at some point? And what class were they racing at? It looks like a stacked class that now.
Masters was like Masters male. I'll probably put that in there because Masters female wasn't. Masters male was like old school race. I was watching racing like a World Cup 10 years ago. Yeah, it was sick.
Yeah, when you've got Olympians in there, it's unreal. And then like serious riders, like serious main makers in like 35 plus that have been elite for a long time. Your Charlie Galliards, your Pablo Gutierrez.
Yeah.
You know, it was only only a few years ago. It was 15 years ago probably. He was podiuming like Cheddar Euro rounds and things like that. So yeah, serious standard, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, really good. Really good. All right then. Championships and elite racing. Let's talk about it. Some of our
Junior
calls
women.
at the last
Start there, haven't
podcast
we?
did well.
Do you know what? I can't remember what we shouted. Obviously,
Well, I
junior
remember
women,
I
we
shouted
said it was
Kennedy.
Freya's
You
to
did
lose,
shout
weren't
Kennedy.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
to be
start
fair.
junior, yeah.
Start junior, we'll go down. Well, we said Freya's to lose, didn't we? And it was. And she did, unfortunately. She's a big fan of the podcast as well. We met Mum and Dad. We had a little chat, and she was like dead hyped when we mention her. So shout out to the Chalices who listen in.
It's really
Full
strange
trio.
for me, Dex. I didn't realise how old I was. So, Mr. Chalice, what's his name? Daddy Chalice
Daddy Chalice.
asked Jules who I was, and I was like, "Well, I've seen Freya race, like, but obviously at that point I wasn't probably racing. So I'm like, now I'm just one of them. I haven't even raced, if you see what I mean. Never
tell you
been
now,
on the scene.
Yeah,
going
you're
off the
probably hitting
topic-
that. They're hitting that like has-been old schooler territory where nobody even cares about your opinion anymore. You're getting close to that.
No, nobody cares, and I'm fine with that.
Boota's famous, mate. I'm telling you. People coming up to him like whilst we were away, going, "Oh, are you late to the gate?" Like, I'm thinking, hang on a minute. This podcast has got a bit big, you know. He had Mark Bias come up to him.
No, that was both of
Michael.
us. That was both of us. So yeah, shout out to Mike Bias because he approached us from behind. He was riding past like on Friday.
Yeah, it was
like
yeah,
Friday
when we was getting our
practice day.
tickets. Yeah,
And he was like, yeah, and he was like, he knew straight away. He's like, thanks for. I was like, go well this weekend. He's like, thanks for the shout out, everything. So
He's great. He's a great fan. He's a YouTube viewer. He's a
Yeah.
big fan, but I'm a massive fan of him. I've loved him for about, probably close to 15 years.
I think
we
he
had,
just likes BMX. I think
yeah,
he's just
there's
like
a few
a
like
BMX
that though, weren't
fan.
they?
Eddie Clerto.
yeah.
He's like well aware of everything that like BMX hype's done, and obviously got bronze. I think it's just some people that are really into it.
Yeah, I was upset with myself for not calling out Eddie when we had a chat before you went because I remember his name cropped up in my head because he's been doing really well. And it came as no surprise for him to get a good result at the Worlds.
I love that we've gone from junior women talking a bit and now.
Yeah, no, let's
down
go
on
back.
anyway.
Let's do this properly.
Yeah. So back to the Chalices. Freya was unlucky, wasn't she? She kind of lost her head a bit, I think. Greenoff was screaming apparently on the gate, and her legs went a bit, and she fully committed on that first jump, pulled a bit too much, and went up. But like had to obviously go to the hospital through concussion and all that. But in and out, scan sorted within minutes, and out for the team meal after in the evening. So fair play to the medical crew over in Copenhagen, but she was massively unlucky with that one. But
Massively. But the girl with
Randall.
her wasn't. Just to touch on
yeah,
that.
she broke her leg, didn't she? Her femur snapped.
So
Yeah,
the
that's
girl
a
who
bad
crashed
one.
with her, yeah, she's had femur surgery. But yeah, Freya's time will come. It's difficult. She's only first year junior. You'd be great to go see her do some World Cups next year, and she's up there with U23, like the best in U23. So she'll be fine.
And Randall Todd, she can ride a bike.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
she's
you've been
sick.
calling that one out for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose when you grow up the same age as Freya, unfortunately, Freya's taken the titles a lot. But Elsa would have gotten those titles, I'd imagine, anyway, in terms of she's finished second so many times at Euros, and I'm not actually too sure Worlds, but this one's a proper championship medals. And she just kills it around the track. Like, she's
she
one
reels
of them
them in,
that
doesn't she?
never, ever panics, because she just keeps pulling people in. And if that track was a few metres longer, she'd have won. So, amazing.
Yeah. Big shout out to junior women. Women look good.
Next race.
Junior man like Criddle, making main, didn't he? Got fifth.
Yeah, we've got to shout out Ben, haven't we? Ben Cornish. He's just a fighter.
I'm devastated for the guy. He was in third in the main, was at the wrong side, and him and the Belgian came together. They both crashed. The Belgian was not happy. He was pissed. He was ready to go, but he was going at Ben, and then Ben came up to the stands and just sat with us, and it was literally like the soundtrack of Hello Darkness, My Old Friend was in my head as he just sat in front of me with his head. He was in bits. He was at rock bottom at that point. And we basically said to him, like, you need to hold your head up a bit because you're there. You're in the main. The pace is there.
Yeah.
I've said it before with Ben, it's like a 50-50 crash to race ratio. He's 100 miles an hour, isn't he? His time will come. His time will come. But if you watch that semi again though, Criddle actually wheel spins and he's dead last.
Yeah.
So that crash actually helps Criddle when he gets through to third, I think, in that semi. But he was out of it.
Yeah.
So he can ride a bike. Them two, in my eyes, they're both good enough to be in the main.
Yeah, it's good to see because Ben. What I like about Ben is, like, I think in the first turn he was like in second. He's got he's got actually all the tools to do it, and he actually also had the vision, I guess, that only a few minutes afterwards said I panicked and I shouldn't have done this or I should have done that, and it was bang on what actually happened. And I don't think a lot of riders have that, especially at like 18, to actually recognise where it went wrong or what to do next time. And Ben has had a few bits of bad luck, and you've got to think with all these bits of experience that his time will come. And he's 18, you know, he's got so much more that he can do. He's got a full package, to be fair, so we'll see him back.
Is he 18 or is he 17?
Well, he's in his second year junior.
Or is he? Okay.
When I mean 18, I mean second year junior, because I'm just checking the results now. Because Jimmy is first year, which is amazing. So he got a fifth, and they've
so
got the
much
tools.
time. You're not even physically peaking anywhere near that. Physically peaking about 5 years after.
And he went, and it was like, you know, it was one of them stacked junior fields with loads of French in, and like, that's incredible. Like, I think we've probably got used to seeing the GB tops up there in the last few years in the championship classes. Whereas we can remember 10, 15 years ago when to make a semi at a Worlds in a championship class is incredible. So like, both of them should be, like, Criddle for making the main and Ben for making the semi, be really proud of that.
There was a point where me and you were sat in the stands. I think it was like semi-final time, and I said, like, I can't remember having this many GBs still in at this point. It was nice to see. It was nice to have someone to cheer, and especially when we got a few in the final as well. It was like, okay, here we are. I think we had 4 finalists, didn't we, in the championship classes? So it was like, okay, we've got someone we can actually shout for. Usually we're just watching French and Dutch dominance, isn't it? Like, we're in the mix.
Was there a
Not to the
dominant
French
nation?
level yet.
Was there a dominant nation?
God, yeah.
Who was it?
If you're a male, basically, and you want to go into BMX, you better hope you're from France, because they just swept everything, didn't they? Junior men, under 23s, elite men, they took the lot. And elite men, they're rocking out 5 out of the 8 in the final. It's just not fair, is it? Like,
and the problem is there's just 10 years, behind Arthur Pillard is another, however old he is, 28. There's another 28 years of talent behind him. It'll just keep coming and coming because every other class is filled with talent.
It needs studying.
Yeah, well, someone told me, I think it was Marco years ago, said that the number of license holders in France was huge, and I should really research it better.
Wasn't
and
it
I think
like 5,000 or something like that?
It's massive, and the population of France, I think, is similar to the UK, maybe, but like way more license holders. You know, way bigger sport, so much depth.
Yeah, they know what they're doing. It takes us into junior, under 23s, didn't it? It didn't have the males that we thought were going to be battling, did it?
Well, it did, because we said Nordham and Josh Jolly, didn't we? We just didn't mention the French.
We thought they were going to be the one too, but we didn't really.
Yeah.
We didn't really we didn't really think that we'd have French in the mix, did we?
Yeah, I thought it was Jolly's Jolly impressed me, because I thought it was Nordham's to lose, should I say? But he left a little bit on Nordham, didn't he, in the semi?
I don't understand why, though.
Well, I just think he just took a little, like, he passed Nordham in the last turn, and he just maybe brake checked him, maybe took him a little bit closer to the line than he should have done, just to take another sort of 0.2 off him, so he would be able to get a better, line pick, or Nordham might have got.
Yeah, but in my head, right,
pick.
so this happens, Jolly gets that, and surely he picks gate 1. But then you see the lineup, and then Jolly's in, like, lane 5, was he, or something?
Maybe
I need to watch the video.
Mind tricks then. It's just a mental thing, isn't it?
Was.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jolly. I thought he was going to do it because his track speed was phenomenal, wasn't it? Best interview though. The under 23's interview was phenomenal at the end because Connor asks him like, "What was your thoughts coming out of the second corner?" Because obviously then he's leading at that point, and he just looked puzzled for a bit and went, "I don't know." And everyone, like the whole crowd, just erupts, pissing themselves. It was brilliant.
So was Connor's work coming out live over the mic on the venue as well?
Yeah, only
just the interview. Yeah. So Rich and Connor weren't. You couldn't hear them in the venue. There was Max, Max Kahlua, a local guy that they really just did to hype up Denmark riders.
He was dog.
So I think that
he was so mad.
They might have taken him off duty after a few motos, and they thought actually maybe not. So they just left him to do the Danish language bits.
Yeah.
He basically did the apes, and they gave him junior men, junior women, and then you didn't hear him after that because he didn't know any of the names. He was just screaming out countries. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Like, we're like, what is this guy doing?
Would I have seen him on the challenge?
Yes, it's the same
stuff?
guy.
Yeah.
And then day 2 comes round. It's like he's not even speaking until like Dyer's on the gate, and he just introduced him, and then that's it. See you later. Thanks for coming.
Who is the Dutch guy? Who's the commentator? What's his name?
Man,
but I can't remember his name. But his voice is like it gets me going for like the worlds because he's got the right tone for it, and knows and can pronounce everyone perfectly, which is a challenge.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the venue, and then we'd get Connor just for like the winners really.
Yeah, so I watched the live feedback. I got on the BBC iPlayer and watched it, and Connor basically just leaves the studio before the finals to go and do the interviews. It was actually okay on the iPlayer. Drone shots stepped up though, wasn't he?
Yeah, apparently they had a racing drone pilot.
Right, closer to the action.
You can really, on some of at least the BBC footage, I'm guessing it's all just driven by the same master broadcast or whatever it's called. So. But like they really tracking the first turn moves, and like during the semis they were really good. So yeah,
so that's good that the quality of camera work's going up, and that's what you want. I think was it Andre ripping into the how hard it was to watch some of the racing, especially pre quarters like eighths and the motos.
Quite interesting because most people we spoke to who are either in the game in terms of riders or coaches would prefer if the whole schedule was condensed into one day, because you have people firing on day 1 and then you come back day 2 and they're not. But then obviously we understand why. It's all for the TV, but it doesn't help the riders in some cases.
No, I don't think I really realised this until obviously I've seen the event schedule beforehand, but how short the days are. So the second day is 2 hour show and that's it. So whoever you are coming in as a spectator, I'm talking about this purely from a spectator point of view, and you travel in and you park and you get to the city and you just see 2 hours. The day previous was a 3 hour ordeal.
Well, day previous was weird because so on the Saturday we had the motos, and then we had like an hour and a half break whilst we were waiting for the apes, because that's when the show started. So everyone at home, obviously you see on the social media that they can't watch the motos. They're all kicking off going, I can't see it. And because it's not shown, it only then goes live. It was like 5:30 their time. So we'd finished at like 3 o'clock, I'm sure, 3:03. So we go grab some food. We come back into the stands and they're back out practicing because they obviously need a bit of practice again. So they all get like half an hour practice just to do one lap of an eighth. And then they'll do the eighth, and then that's it. We'll go bed, and we'll come back tomorrow, and you'll do quarter semi-final. And it's weird, really, when thinking about it. You're only going to do 2 laps, and then 3 laps the next day.
I don't know the answer to it, though. You know, like, obviously U23 was added to make it a bit of a bigger show, so it would stretch out, and you'd get more laps and there'd be more TV footage. But yeah, as a spectator, it doesn't really run as well as you'd like. And if you're staying in a city like Copenhagen, you've got another hotel stay, another night of eating out. I'm all for only a couple of hours
to stay in that city a bit longer.
Yeah.
Wait, on the flip side though, and this was Kaylee, obviously my wife, got into it. she hates nationals because it's a full day, like 10 till 5 o'clock, and she's like, I'm so bored, this is crap, like I'm only seeing you every hour. She sat and watched the 2-hour show at home and texted me saying, oh, that was wicked. That she liked the smaller condensed version of BMX, and we did in a way because it meant like, because we was like, oh, we can go do this in the morning, we'll go watch the 2 hours, and then we'll go grab some food, get out and enjoy the city. So it swings and roundabouts, isn't it? I mean, me and you would happily sit there all day, wouldn't we, Boota, and watch BMX?
Yeah. That's. I'm just trying to think of it from like a ticketed perspective. A Copenhagen like native would come and just be like, "What's happening? Why don't we finish it today? Why have they only ran it till?" And I kind of get it, but
yeah, locals didn't know anything about it though, did they? It was poorly advertised. We thought.
Yeah. I mean, it seemed to be packed out, but I think they could have done more. But in the city, you wouldn't have really known it was going on. But the venue itself, like, is beside a main road, but then it's just shrouded in trees. You cannot see it at all. I don't think there's a billboard outside of it at all. Whereas, like, you know, we've been to events before where it's the billboards are around the cities, they're in the shopping centres and things like that, and it gets like a local crowd. Whereas I probably think that 90% of them had raced that week or were parents of the riders or like that. I didn't really see too many tourist types.
Yeah, it just happened upon the race.
Yeah.
Yeah, if that was in Holland or somewhere, you'd know there'd be billboards everywhere. They'd be making a big deal of it.
100%.
So you couldn't watch the motos on the internet, so you couldn't stream them. I wonder whether you just stream them with lower production value, just for the super fans to see it. But, you know, because that would work for me, because I'd want to watch them. But then you either put the money in and have control of your brand, or you don't put the money in and just show them cheap and then risk your brand getting eroded because someone happens across it and goes, what's this dog shit? And then they don't watch the big show. So I can see why it's difficult, but I can see why it annoys the fans as well. I don't know what the answer is to that.
I don't think there is a solution. I had loads of people basically saying, like, go live on Instagram, and I'm thinking, I don't want to. I'm here to watch it. I'm sorry, guys. I apologise, but we've paid some cash here to get it, so I'm sitting and watching it. I'm not watching it through a phone. Granted,
We did get this same conversation, don't we? You know, because was it like Doris Brink like live streamed Rock Hill like motos last year, and then it's obviously paid to play at the moment. In the UK, you have to like get a TNT Sport subscription, because it's not YouTube, it's geo-blocked, and you can't. I'm not sure what the answer is. We could go on all day, but it's been this way for a few years, hasn't it? It's the same with Euro finals.
Pay to play is a bit rubbish, you know. If you can get it free in different jurisdictions, but you're having to pay in certain jurisdictions, that's not as good. Should make it the same everywhere.
It needs to be free. We're not a big enough sport for people to be going, oh yeah, let me pay for that. Like, the only people that are paying for it are the people in the sport. If we want to make this sport bigger, we need to have it free. We need to have it rammed down people's throats like football is in the UK. I mean, granted, that's a whole bigger golden triangle in terms of what they can invest and get from sponsorship. But we're a small sport, and it needs to be free and just accessible. So,
yeah, well, you can monetize YouTube content, so I would assume you can monetize streaming on YouTube. You know, so when the UCI stream happens, I would assume that's monetized.
they're getting paid. They've got like 10,000 people watching. Yeah. That's getting paid.
And do you know what? The challenge footage is amazing. The challenge streaming is a really good quality, and you don't need anything more than that. It's ran off transponders, so the name's coming up. There's 2 or 3 angles, I think. There's no way that footage could be ran more, and it's set up. It's already in place for challenge. So run it for day 1 of championship. Even if it as an experiment, and then sell your day 2 to, because it was on BBC iPlayer in the UK, wasn't it? I forgot about that. Sell your day 2 to your networks if you want to make money on it, I guess. But the challenge footage is actually really, really good. Really
there you
good.
are, solved. Boota solved it. Let's get on to the elites then.
Beth had a mixed day. She had a really mixed day, didn't she, Sean?
We thought she was a goner,
yeah.
didn't we?
We were going Zoe, and we were basing this off Liam's conversation the day earlier, of saying that, you know, she's just done everything, like no stone unturned, ready. And then Zoe and Saya were coming out and really, really killing it. And Beth had a bit of a wobble, and then had a pretty poor semi for her standards, didn't she?
She was out. She was dead last. into that first corner, and I'm in the believer that she's not a great pack rider, but she proved me wrong on that for sure. She just picked her moment, chilled down the second straight, and high low in that second corner. All of a sudden, she's into fourth, and then she's pulling on third, and it's like, okay, well, I don't know what the bloody hell we were worried about. She was well in by the end.
Did you get a second? Yeah, second.
She pulled in.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was like, what the hell were we panicking about?
Well,
Which
that's not an unfair thing based on how she used to ride. And it's dead easy for armchair experts to say that. But that, not being a pack rider is not an unfair thing to say of old. But it sounds like that's not a thing now.
Well, yeah, she's definitely turned a page on that and put that one to bed. And then she picks a trusty gate 6, and it was one of them. As soon as that gate went down, on the crest, she's got a half a bike on most. And it's like, okay, that's that done then.
Lap of the weekend of any race, I reckon.
Saya makes a slight mistake on the second straight, but she was never catching her.
No,
she was like,
no
one wins an elite final by a second and a half.
Unreal.
Up steps Beth.
We were
Great
on the bottom,
finish line.
yeah, and we were on the bottom. Yeah, we were on the bottom of the start, weren't we, Sean? And like at the bottom of the hill, she's got a bike.
Right, we were like, yeah, this is done. Just
and then so, well, that's it. That's done. Because I think, at least from an outsider point of view, like for example Tokyo, she does seem to be really chill and happy, and she's unlocked something mentally that some riders struggle with. To put that semi behind her to just go out, and it's raining, it's horrendous conditions. And there's riders slipping and wheel spinning on the hill, and she just pulls out that from 6, doesn't panic, didn't panic in the semi. Unreal, absolutely unreal.
No one is beating her in that final. She was gone, but yeah, every credit. And then Judy Bow coming in,
Euro and World 1 as well.
Yeah, double.
Yeah,
so
brilliant.
I've got a stat for you.
Oh, go on.
I was looking at stats, and I was looking at Beth's results, and we were talking about, because you posted something, Sean, about, is there a conversation for GOAT?
We had this conversation with a few, didn't we?
Yeah, we had that was like, it was early after party talk. Beth is the only one to ever hold a Euro, World and Olympic title. Fair enough, Mariana did hold a continental title, South America title. But Euro, World and Olympic title she had in 2022. She got, going into 2022, she was world champion. She got that. She's had now 3 elite world titles, 1 junior world title.
I got some stick for that, didn't I?
You said 4, but it's 4 championship.
I put on BMX High,
yeah.
4 times world champ, which she is. She's a 4-time championship world champ. 1 junior, 3 elites. So there's not many that have got that. And she's in the GOAT category near enough, isn't she? I mean, this is just the start. She's still pretty young. We've got a lot more to come.
Solidified as number 2, 100%. There's only
After
2
Marianne,
in there at the moment. Yeah. But
you got to put Smoulders in the mix, but that's more of a World Cup kind of.
We had this comment. Who was it? Who was challenging it?
Bloomy and Kev, weren't it?
Yeah, because a lot of people put, like, Elise winning all them USA titles, put a lot of weight on the USA title, whereas us in Europe, we probably look at it slightly differently and think, well, Euros and World Cups are different. Because in America, like, Elise is undisputable GOAT. But anyway.
That's good stat.
Yeah, they're all incredible. Yeah.
It just made me think about something when you're talking about the bad weather, and this is something for on world tracks and certainly World Cup tracks. But those gates are slippy. They haven't got big jaggedy bits of metal like you're perhaps used to riding in wet UK. Yeah, they are pretty smooth gates to come off with smooth tires on a wet day.
Here's a weird thing that was happening that we couldn't believe that was happening. It's raining and it just about dries off. And then a guy goes up and power hoses it. He gets his sprayer out and he's soaking it.
The gate?
They're soaking the gate, and he's soaking the 1-2 on the crest where the guys are riding. And we're like, what the flipping hell's going on here? Like, it was so weird. And then all the water's just dripping down the hill. And we're like, surely this is worse. This is the worst thing you could be doing. But it didn't seem to faze many people. Obviously, we not really spoke to many people about it, but it was a weird one.
Yeah, maybe try and squirting the mud off, but you wouldn't think you would want to wet it. I remember having flamethrowers on the start hill at Papendal to dry it. That was amazing.
Just imagine that was a good one.
Drying it all
What was it
off.
again? Do that nose again. There's your sound bite. Yeah. Oh, here's something we were talking about. Elite women. We're now getting to a point where the smalders are starting to maybe slightly drop off. Are we going to see a point where they're going to be battling for 4th place in a semi? Would one smash the other?
I reckon they would.
Because we've never really seen it, because they've always been like up there together, aren't they?
I think they've had this conversation. They've had a conversation before, obviously. I know that Laura's passed Meryl for a medal before. Where was that? I'm trying to remember where that was. But I think it's unsporting to not do it, isn't it? And they'd hopefully expect that of each other. If you're in 5th, I'm going for you, and I'll put you over.
I'm sending my brother to the moon. I'm probably going with him. Just for the fans. Like, we're going down. I remember one year, like, it was Telford. I was in 4th in the semi in 1724, and Clucas was in 5th. And he just went, he was nowhere going to make this corner. And he just went straight and smashed me. We both crashed. And we just rolling around on the floor laughing our heads off. And he goes, I just didn't want you in the final if I'm not. And that's exactly what I'd hope the Smalders would do. Just go for it.
Yeah, I reckon they would. True racers. All right. Elite male.
Elite men. French dominance. Like, what have I got here? 7 French were in the semi. So 7 out of 16 were French in the semi. And then 5 of them made the final. Rago Richard made me laugh, didn't he? He put like W5, French 4 or something like that. He was the 4th French fastest in the final, but he's got world 5. Like, it just doesn't make sense, does it?
Great. Can't fault Pillard. Just can't fault him. Really can't. I thought Kennedy might have a day. Because, like you said, Dex, you were the one that was calling him out. Like, he looked hungry. I thought Kennedy might have a day. Pillard just goes about his business quietly. I don't think, not like his fan club, but I don't think many people notice him. Like, I think you're watching Joris. I think you're watching Sylvain or Kennedy or earlier in the race in Kai. And I think Pills now, Euro 2, World 1. It's
a strange one because we were watching him on the gate. So he's chilling on the gate. And you've got his AP 130 lot going nuts and chanting, going, oh, and he just like, you can't focus on a race with that going on. Like, if my mates are you're laughing your head off in the helmet, surely. And he just looks over, gives him one of these, and it's like, okay, yeah, he's proper chilled.
Just another mentality monster, I think. Same as Beth.
Yeah.
I think these guys that are at the top and seem to be performing, it feels like there's no way that they can be any better than the person in 2nd or 3rd or 4th. It's just who makes the least mistakes and who just holds their mental game a little bit better. Pills just didn't leave the first lane, and that was his key to success. In fact, Kai was the only one to beat him in a race.
I was just about to say that only one person beat him all day, and that was Kai. But that was on Saturday. Sunday, Kai wasn't feeling the weather, was he? It's just not his kind of race day, was it, for him?
Is he quartered?
Went out quartered, didn't he?
Yeah.
To see him back on a bike, though.
Yeah, and Kimman. Nice to see Kimman back in the mix. Although he
got to shout out Kimman.
Struggling with that first corner, though, weren't he? Kept nearly putting himself over it.
Yeah, I think Kimman. Well, yeah. Well, okay, go back to Kai. I think it was nice to see Kai back and seeing him like pass Pillard in the 8th, I believe it was like, oh, there's the flavour that you loved of Kai, like in terms of an exciting rider. I thought like some of the manuals and that would suit him, but then it got really wet and soggy, and a lot of people were taking a more safer line through that 2nd straight. So yeah, it is nice to see him, and I hope that he just continues to build a bit because he didn't get that much time on the bike. I'm pretty sure he put it out there that he didn't get that much time to train. And Kimman, Dexter, did you see Kimman's video, the emotional one?
Yeah. At the end of what when he got through one of the motos.
I think he got through Saturday. Yeah. It got me right in the fields. That one did.
That was really good.
Tears are close.
I can't knock him. I love the guy. It's good to see him back. And I learned that during his recovery, his inflamed heart muscle meant that he could do nothing, and it was literally nothing. Sofa bound.
Yeah. They didn't even operate on him or anything, did they? They just said, you've got to wait. He did a bit on the velodrome, which we found out, didn't we? And then he just chilled and waited, basically. Patience.
His YouTube's very good, apparently. Somebody told me that.
Oh, it's incredible. You've never seen that?
Yeah, wicked.
No,
oh, man.
there's not enough hours in the day.
Come on,
Professional.
Superfan Dex. He's done a like a year on from from the injury video that he recently put out, and obviously he was going into like Paris, and he didn't get to. Sorry, yeah, he didn't get to race Paris, and he's like films his reaction to the news and said like, you're not going to the Olympics, and basically had 9 months off or whatever it was, even more than that. And then his first race back, he's sort of like documented it. He's an incredible YouTuber. Like the production quality is incredible. Yeah, he did a short film on the run up to Tokyo, and that in itself is worth watching. They're really, really well produced.
He did a documentary, didn't he, for Yoshitoshi when he finished.
I was hoping you weren't going to call him Yoshitoshi.
Sorry, just his nickname. Is that a shutdown? Can we bleep that out?
Yeah, he's a good guy. Good to see him back.
All right, so racing done. Gladiators did the business in the arena. You enjoyed it. Now tell me how many kilometres you did on line bikes. Oh, have you got more racing stuff?
I've wrote some notes for elite men. I just put USA men, another word after that. Weren't great. What's happened there? And I've got Drew Polk screaming for 4th place in a quarter. Like, what the hell's that about? I don't get it. And then we can't not do this podcast without mentioning Dyer, the local hero. He was flying until that final.
Mention him. Talk about him.
How do you go? Obviously, he spent a lot of hours on that track, hasn't he? But his first straight was ridiculous. He was hitting that bottom of the hill a lot faster. I mean, I think day one he was a second faster than anyone else. And you start to go, right, okay, this is where the split day doesn't help, because if that carried on all the way through the day, his confidence would have been building. And then he has to go bed and try and recreate it the next day, in which obviously he made the main. I think he got like 6th, but he was flying.
Yeah, there's a lot to that, breaking that flow, coming out of that flow state halfway through the day.
For sure. Yeah, Dyer was a good one for the day. But he got the crowd going.
So depth in USA then, Boota will have an opinion on this. And obviously it's a long haul for USA, but at elite level, if you're there or thereabouts, you're making the trip.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether they had more talent in the wings because they only brought 9 of their 34 allocation for championship. It just feels like it's a bit of a lull, really. I don't really know how else to explain it. Jamie Staff's not in the team anymore. Ex-Colombian coach German Medina, who has massive accreditation, obviously, critical to Mariana's success and all the Colombians that continue to pump out of that country. I don't know. I did notice that Dale had a conversation with Tyler Brown this week, and I think they did Worlds, but I think most of it was around why aren't the USA as strong as they used to be? No one in that, Drew Polk made the semis in elite main, but there's no women. Obviously, as Elise, she's temporarily out, whether she'll come back.
Is it Mertens in junior or under 23s?
Mertens was like a first-year junior that made a main. Alexis Holden made a main in junior. Like they were okay. They were there. I don't know who else is there. I mean, I expect Cam Wood and Cam Larson to feature a bit better, but they just didn't. Yeah, they just didn't, and it could have been a blip. Cam Wood's been up there in the last year or two. I don't know the answers. I need to listen to the full conversation between Dale and Tyler because I've only listened to half of it.
Yeah, that'll be a good
one. They're definitely more qualified to comment on the state of it. I think like your Delaney Vaughans were there. There's a girl called Kaylee Shea. She was in junior semis, I think. But I didn't see him leading the front. Didn't see him leading laps. And the main results show that.
It was a funny video on the AP 130 staff where obviously they're sharing the same hotel and they're all partying inside. And it just looks like the Team USA are just getting a bollocking from the coaches.
I forgot about this. Yeah, they look like they're having a debrief outside. So there's beers inside and the AP crew are going mental. And outside it looks like a real like serious debate. Shouldn't laugh.
I didn't see any of the Americans at the after party. To be fair, they might have been there, but I didn't see them.
No.
Well, come on then. Let's talk about all that stuff. We've been going an hour or a little bit less.
We panicked at first, so we get a message saying this is where the after party is. 9:30 start. Okay, sick. We obviously go get some food, get showered, get out. We're out about 8 o'clock. Like let's go and have a walk around the city because it's our last night in the city. Dead. Sunday's dead.
Yeah.
No one.
Yeah.
Sat down for a nice corner spot. I had a glass of wine whilst Boota had a beer. Then we thought, let's head to the venue. We got into the venue about 9 o'clock, so we're a bit early anyway. There's a live dude. He was pretty sick, to be fair, on a guitar, looping it, doing like Avicii and things like that. But there's about 6 people in there. One old boy dancing at the front, and we're like, this better get live.
At this point, there's more like dodgy-looking Thai girls there than like actual people. So we're like, what's going to go on
five
here?
Thai girls just
Shipping for
swarming
business.
around. Yeah. We're like, if the party fails, no, I'm joking. But then it starts filling up, and then we're like, okay. And then Boota gets a taste.
To be fair, I didn't drink until this earlier this year. I didn't drink for like 2 years, and I've been training for this. So I thought, come in, and the Summersby was flowing. Yeah, went to the
It's
side
like 3:30 in the morning. I'm like, Boota, I don't want any more. I'm 10 pints deep. Like, I don't need any more. No, youth, we're going again. We're going again. I'm like, okay, here we are.
So who was it? Come on, because after parties are special because you're in amongst the mix. The elite riders are there. They're enjoying it. They're letting their hair down. That's what makes a good after party.
World champs. All the world champs were there, basically. Sylvan Andre's bouncing around in an AP 130 hat, a bucket hat, which was quality. I love that. Basically all the elite women are on the table dancing. They're up there. They're bouncing around. DJ was took him a while to warm up. I think he understood.
I want to know. I don't know whether these staff even knew what was going on. So you got a picture of the scene, Dex. We're in an Irish bar. It's got like a dance floor at the back of it, but it's Sunday night. There's nothing else open. I don't know whether these guys, staffed up for 60 customers over the night, and then all of a sudden there's 400 BMXs ripping down the ceiling, and it was rammed, and every table was getting danced on, and there was like
it got sweaty.
People were coming in. Someone said to me, "Are you Danish?" And I was like, "No. What's going on?" They just didn't understand what's going on. Nothing else is open. Who are all these people? And it was Ross's girlfriend, wasn't it? Because her first after party taste. She was like, it's like a school disco. Like nobody had ever been to a party before, and it was good. It was one for the ages. It didn't disappoint in the end.
Some of the young elites, you can tell they don't drink, and they were stood around the side. And then some of the older elites are in the middle, bouncing around. Jamie O'Brink's getting in a scuffle with someone else. Booter's trying to rag him off and everything like that. I'm like, oh my God, this is going on. We had the South Americans kicking off at the end of the night with some locals.
Oh yeah, there was police there and all sorts. Trying to be a mediator, an English-speaking mediator. Tranquilo, trying to tell them that if the police turn up, it's not great news. You need to go, and they did. I won't mention their names, but the police did turn up, but they did. I don't think anything happened, but they were still hanging around. Anyway, it was like a good Belgian after party, and that was the worry because obviously it's just me and Sean. We haven't got like a big crew of our own there, so we were like, a bit like we'll see if it works out. Worst case scenario is we'll have a few beers and we'll go back. But anyway,
no, it went off though. Like we were in with the GB lot. They were all hanging around with us, and we had a good catch up with Bloomy, and then we were all with the French lot basically. By the end, we were Eddie and Arthur, but also like all of their mates, they started to fade off, didn't they? They'd had a full day on it. You could tell that. Yeah. So there's a few youths that got loose. We won't mention any names, but it was good. But 3:30 came around. It was like we need to probably head home.
To go back to being a bit serious for a second though, I think this was an unofficial after party, basically cooked up by Mitchell Shotman. Yeah,
Shotman. He just basically he reserved a load of tables at the Irish bar, and it was a good Irish bar because that did go off. That was weirdly, it was the first place we drank when we first got there.
Yeah.
But we got there early at 9 o'clock, and there was these two women that came in with a drink, obviously not BMX, and they were trying to find somewhere to sit. And Mitchell Shotman is obviously he's reserved all the tables, and I could overhear her going, "Who the fuck reserves tables on a Sunday night?" And it was dead at that point, and I was just like, "Don't worry, just hold on."
I'm like, I want the event to do this because back in Zolder 15. Well, actually, no, I'll go back to way before that. Back in 2010 Frejus, when it was Swatch, you bought a ticket at the venue to the after party, and you bought like I think it was like €25 at the time. It was mental, to be honest, because it was a free bar, but it got you certain drinks and blah blah blah. But then I think they just extended the bar for a while. But I'd want the venue to do something a bit more special than that. Like, it just feels like it shouldn't be down to an elite rider to sort of like do a little bit of a flyer and just get it sent around Instagram. And I didn't really see anyone really sharing it, so I thought we didn't know at the time what's going to happen. But it's good.
Everyone got loose. I tell you, one person we did meet though, Boota. We're standing there, and there's this woman and bloke just like looking at us, and we're like, "What's going on here?" Like this old, like there must be about 45 couple looking at us. I'm thinking, "Oh, here we go." Couple of swingers, trying to get us in. And then she starts talking to us, and she's like, "Oh, my husband's the starter." And we're like, "Oh, okay." And so Booty comes in, hop, because that's all you could hear the whole weekend, this starter going, hop, before every race. And he's like, that's me.
She was stood in the venue, so she had a Danish, obviously they were Danish. Her son was riding in Challenge, and I'd probably never ever seen anything like this after party before, thinking, what is going on? Like, who are these, like, not who are these people, no. So I think she was looking for someone to talk to about it, wasn't she? Like, does this normally happen? Because it was scenes out of, like, a Project X. Like, it was a stupid after party. Me and Sean were too old for it. But we did enjoy it.
I don't think you're too old for it. I don't think you're ever too old.
You were jumping up for headers and everything. Ibuta was in the middle at one point, bouncing around. He was loving life.
Yeah. The event got
We just stuck with the older boys, didn't we? We stayed with Bloomy. We stayed with your Sylvans, like the young 30s.
Yeah,
that's a bit of us.
How old's Bloomy now?
Oh no, he ain't young 30s. He's got to be. God no, I'm 37. He's got a few years on me. He's got to be like
40 then, eh?
Oh, yeah, he's over 40.
Yeah.
Looking good for his age. And then at 3:30, we go home. We get on the line bikes. We finish off our miles, but it's smashing it down. It was biblical. It was fine a minute ago, and now it's absolute biblical rain. And Boota's just riding. And shout out to Copenhagen, by the way, with the cycle paths, because it makes life so much easier. And Boota just looks at me and says, "I can't see a thing.
My glasses are like, I'm gone anyway, but my glasses are gone. I'm just aiming towards the lights, basically. Just if I stay towards the lights, I'm going in the right direction."
But then we get to the track, and I was like, "I'm going to go do a lap on the track." So I rode the line bike in. I thought I'd get a lap in, and then alarms go off. All these alarms go off. I spin around, and I'm like, "We're going. We got to get out of here." So rode back to the hotel.
Old school cheddar vibes, wasn't it? Riding your bike home, trying to get on the track. Stupid o'clock in the morning.
We did 80 kilometres on them things.
We did quite well. Yeah, we bought like the pre-loaded passes on the bike, and we did 80k over like.
And did you have the same
cost us
bike?
like 30 quid.
No. We just
so
docked it outside the hotel. Yeah. He was brilliant. Like, in terms of the event, if I was to say like, oh, could it hold another one? Yeah, the city's incredible, and you would have to come obviously, Dex, so you could fly in. The city is perfect for it. The venue just needs an upgrade, really. It just needs to be made bigger and better and more accessible, and a little bit more thought around the riders, I think.
Do you know what? There was an event on in the city. It was like a football volleyball, whatever it's called. I don't know what the actual official name is. Probably should as a PE teacher. But anyway, so you're playing football, you're in a volleyball court, but it was bang in the centre on one of the squares, and there's a stand. It's free to watch. There was loads of people there. There's bar, music. It was cool, but it's a crap sport. It's no BMX. Like, put a track in the city, smash one in one of them centres. And Liam even said, half the size of the track, make it shorter, make it more exciting, more races, and put it in the middle of a city. But
well, let's hope Brisbane get it right. And if anyone from Australia BMX is listening, I'm here to advise on what an after party might look like, and we can get some UK consultants brought over, and we can get that shaped up. I might have to stage a late to the gate barbecue at my house.
Yeah, I'm all for
100%.
it.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah.
All right, what else do you want to talk about? What else have we not covered from the world?
City? Can we talk about Copenhagen life? I know it's not really BMX, but the women are phenomenal. Everyone rides bikes. No one's got a car in the city. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand it.
Culture-wise, it's just, and I know it's obviously up there in terms of high standard of living and taxes and everything like that, but it's just a beautiful city, isn't it, Sean? And it was just really nice, like full families on bikes, like people come out in the evening just to drink wine around a lovely little square on a bike. It was really nice. Even the Mermaid was quite nice, Sean. Wasn't it, Sean? The Little Mermaid?
Was it Stupid Mermaid?
Not worth the trip.
It's a really romantic city. Me and Sean did things that were really good if the wiser were us. We sat and we drank on the canals. Had a really, really romantic dinners outside. We had multiple lovely, nice little dinners, didn't we? Just me and you.
That Mermaid, right? So you travel out of the city because it feels like it was out of it, and once again it was hammering it down. So we was drenched by the time we got there, and we get to this Mermaid, and I'm expecting something pretty serious because Booter's talking all the time about this Mermaid and how it's the third best thing to go and see in Copenhagen. And I'm like, all right, I'll give it a bit of time. We'll go and have a butcher's, and we get there. And it's a tiny thing. There's no one there looking at it other than this one dude who looked sketchy as hell taking a picture of it like it's going to bloody move. And that's all I'm having to deal with. Look, we even have a little picture there, but it's just a tiny mermaid.
It's just
I like how you two are posing in front of it, little selfie in front of the mermaid.
I said to him, I was like, look, we're here now. I'm taking a picture of me and you so you can just show your missus. Bit of culture.
Yeah, I love Copenhagen.
But then I didn't get it. But then you gave me the whole background. It's been there for 100 years, so it's
and this whole story of Hans Christian Andersen and his Little Mermaid stories were inspired. Sorry, Sean. Yeah, we're not highbrow, are we? We're quite the opposite of that.
Yeah,
and then, you can't beat a Scandinavian city though. You just can't.
No. The infrastructure is just incredible, and me and Sean doing the thing like, how could you implement this in London? And I just don't think you can. Everything's just so. Everything's. I imagine it's got its flaws. You know, I would imagine it's got its flaws, but
just even like the dismounts, they're just so elegant how they do it, and it's like you've learned that from you've came out the womb and you've jumped on a bike, like trying to watch Kaylee get over a top tube on a mountain bike. It's just not that level.
But how do they cope? So, because I think it's great with all the Euro cities and you get on your bike and you go to the office and everything and everyone's just milling about on bikes. But it does rain. It does rain, you know. So you're going to get wet on occasion when you ride into the office. How do they cope with that? How do they wire that into their day-to-day life?
I asked someone and they said we just dress for all weather.
They just have ponchos and stuff as well. Like the bikes don't, like office like city bikes. They've always got a right of way. And they've got like a bit of segregation between the road and the riding path. I just think, it's just made for it. It's just in the winter they do. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. In the winter, it's like really bleak, and I just think they tog up for it, and it's just part of living. And the kids are taken to school in these big cargo bikes with a huge bin in the front of them. And in the UK, you'd be like, there's no way I could lug that 50-kilo bike around. But the difference is they get on the cycle path outside their house and they never have to go up a curb. There's no hills. There's no bad surface anywhere. There's not even a grid on the bike path that you could come, fall foul to. So you could stick your 4-year-olds on a bike in front of you and they could ride to school and it'd be no problem. Or you could throw them in these cargo bike things that have got little seatbelts in them and everything. It's just made for it. It's just like cycling first and then the city, or then the train.
It's the weirdest thing, actually. When we got off the plane, got out of the airport, and then there's a bloke who's just pulling up in one of those carts with his heavily pregnant missus sat in the front. She must be like 8 months pregnant, trying to get out. I'm thinking, oh my God, are you going into labour? Are you all right? That kind of thing. And it's just like, no, this is just a normal thing. You put your pregnant missus in the front and you just ride her in the basket. Like, mind blown.
Happy days.
The start.
What was who pulled the sickest move on the Lime bike? Longest manual, best skid, any jump in?
The hardest thing was doing non-unders because it was so poorly balanced.
Every one of them's electric, by the way. So every one of them's like electric. Yeah. You did a few jumps, Sean. We had a couple of little. Oh, I hit the curb hard.
I forgot about this. Oh my gosh. So. Day one, we went out and we had a couple of drinks, like 4 or 5 pints, but it was a little bit loose, not massive. and we're riding back. I bunny up this tiny little curb. It's like a triangle curb before we get to the bridge. So I bunny up it and then jumped off it. Boota must have thought I just rode over a bump. So he full on smashes into this and nearly goes over the bars. Knees are dragging on the floor. His arms are down here and everything. This woman has to stop and's like, "Oh, are you okay?" And he's like, yeah. Fine,
Generic Ural accent there. Could be any country.
Yeah.
And my ribs are all bruised up here. But the line was the perfect thing for it. They were outside the airport. They weren't at the track. That was probably slightly annoying, but they were just down the road. And like I said, we bought like passes. We did 80k, and we did the park run
30
Saturday morning.
£30,
Yeah, you did do the park run.
We did do the park run. Yeah, it's just like K and a half.
Sold a lemon.
Sean thought the park run would have a bit better architecture on display.
Yeah.
Local architecture. But it wasn't. It was mostly.
Or was it 5k round the field?
It was 5k round the field. Yeah.
Average age 57.
Yeah, not much to look at.
That's almost my age.
But we got it in. We did 80k over the weekend, and we did the 5k. So it wasn't that unhealthy in the end.
No, and they eat well.
Yeah.
There's no
well
crap
into it.
food.
If we want to do another World Tour, I'm well into it. Sort the venue out.
Where's the one the year after Brisbane?
That'd be the France one, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
The
27
Alps,
is it's in Annecy,
the cycling
and
world
it's
champs.
the Super Worlds,
That'll be good.
which will be incredible.
Yeah.
And then it's Houston, Texas,
And then
The
Zolder.
venue's coming up.
and then
then
Zolder, again,
Zolder
yeah,
again.
which will be a complete rebuild.
Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, look, we've been going a while. I've got it. We kind of last episode was a bit different to normal. This episode's a little bit different to normal because we've gone through the worlds, but I've got a couple of bikes to show you. So let's have a look at making sure I'm doing this properly. All right, got a couple. So let me know when you've seen it. Here we go. Oggy sent his bike in.
Let's go, Oggy.
There's no Divide stickers on there.
I don't know if his new one or this is his one just before new, because at the time he sent me this, he put a post up saying he'd got a new daylight frame, but I'm assuming this is his new one. But it's all the colours.
There's a lot of colours on there, isn't there?
It's got donuts on it. He's always on about donuts and cakes, isn't he? Look at the dropouts
yeah.
on it. Why make that overly complicated? Why does that have to be an extra piece of aluminium? I don't know. I'm not for. I do like the daylights actually, and I like that kind of like that brushed aluminium finish that Corbin Sherrard rode for a few years.
Yeah. There's a lot
It's
of
cool.
adjustment on that though. Micro adjustment.
There's
Yeah.
a hell of a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Could have cleaned it, Oggy. Come on, man.
Well, I think Oggy predicted you'd have words to say about how it's been presented, but I
No,
don't
it's
think
cool.
he
It's
cares.
different. You don't see him, do
I don't
you?
mind it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like how
That's cool.
any day of the week he'll pull a different bike out. So you get his Instagram posts or his Facebook post, and it'll be like, yeah, I wasn't feeling the BMX today, so then his downhill rig will be out, or maybe once every 2.5 years his road piece will be out, or his four cross piece will be out. And he's always
Yeah,
riding
he's got a
somewhere.
bike. He's always pulling something out of the shed, like an old Talker or what did he have the other? I know he's got like a Basso road bike. There's always something that he's like, I'll put this together with old parts, and it's always a flash from the past.
Yeah, we
That
did
man
that.
don't sleep either, does he? He literally
No.
goes work at night and then goes riding in the day. It's just he needs to like just sleep at some point, man.
We did Horseshoe Pass once on the road bikes. I'm sure Oggy was on that one with his Basso or the Cat and Fiddle. It was one of the two, but he kind of drove down to do it when Copey was getting everyone rallied up to do these road bike rides, and he brought the Basso out. Anyway, there you go. Cheers, Oggy, for sending that
Yeah,
through.
it's cool.
And we have one more. So we've looked at Lucas' sister's bike the last time I think we got together, or 2 episodes ago, and he's checked with his mum and dad. So Chalky says, yeah, let's get this bike out. So this is his bike for
Well, this is a
next
different
year,
one.
I think. Yeah, this is his, I
Yeah.
think, for next year. Custom paint job, Speeco.
Yeah,
I'm
Rich.
sure it's got the
Rich
TI
in
bars.
fact, we caught up with Rich about this because he built this. Rich T, whilst we sat with the WCC lot. There's some money in there.
Serious cost in the paint. He's got the box tie handlebars, the most expensive bars in the land.
Yeah, it must weigh
It's
nothing,
mental,
that.
isn't it? Speedline carbon cranks.
Yeah, you got to be quick to ride it. Let's hope he's in the mains.
Yeah,
I think he
It's
is quick,
mental.
isn't he? Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for
Yeah, I
sending
like
that
that.
through. That's
Big
a
fan of
nice
that.
looking bike. That's good. Nicely presented as
Colour.
well. Nice bush in the
Colour. I like the
background.
colour.
Contrasting.
Yeah, good gardening. We like a bush.
All right.
Yeah.
So there's 2
Cranks
bikes.
level with the chain stays.
I think since we last got together, it's there hasn't been much going on in the socials. I think people were getting ready for
Everyone
the
was
world.
just
There's been
worlds.
the world.
That's it. I mean,
not too
we
many
did the pod
messages.
the day before we flew out, did we? Was it?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
We're only a week on.
That's it. We're rushing to get them out. It's it's all mad. Trying to find the time to do stuff.
We'll do a bit more laid back one. This was more of a review of the Worlds.
Yeah, well, people are going to think the season's over now, but it's not, because there's still one more
We've got
World
the Brits.
Cup to come, and the Brits.
Yeah, not many people are travelling to that World Cup by the sound of things there.
It's far away.
I can't blame
So
them.
that's what we. And there's no points on offer. So everyone that we were talking to were like, Ross is thinking potentially he might go out and self-fund, but because he still has a chance of winning the title if people don't make mains both days and things like that. But not many people will go to it. It's a sketchy place apparently as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, if he's fit,
I mean,
he
we've
should
got a
go.
few good
but-
stories from that, but we'll save that for when the World Cup's on.
Yeah, because you
pay-
need someone to look after you. You need a fixer when you're flying out
well,
there.
all sounds a bit dodgy, that one.
The story we'll tell about the vans. Maybe we'll keep that one for
we'll
the
save
time.
that one.
When how you rent a van over there, we found out that from the inside line.
Yeah, we'll save that one for that World Cup.
All right, last thoughts then. We can wrap it up and I can get my week started.
Worlds after parties were back to normal.
Yeah,
Happy to see that.
Good racing, amazing
Brilliant.
city. Okay venue, less than okay venue.
Copenhagen needed to step up a bit because I don't think it's the UCI. I think it's Copenhagen.
Could be. And maybe go and see the Mermaid. Maybe not, depending on who you are.
Mermaid.
Don't bother with the Mermaid.
Google
Both
it.
of you. Right,
Go to the
don't bother.
meatpacking district and have a nice sandwich.
That was get attacked by wasps. Yeah.
It's in Scandinavia.
great
Just
city.
wasps everywhere. Anyway,
Let's wrap it up. Thank you very much. See you soon.
peace out.
Ladies and gentlemen, here they are, late to the gate and racing out of lane 8. Your men, Dex, Boota and Issitt.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Bikes in the van, phone in hand, BMX track in the foreign land. Dex missed his flight, it's late. I don't know why we're late to the gate. Beers and bikes, we ride all night. Euro trips and rider hype. From nationals to car park chats, we chase that dream in new era caps. Sugar daddies in the VIP. BMX moms still faster than me. Dex and Boota, Issitt too. Talking trash, we ride it true. Baggy jeans and studded belts. The body is chaos, nothing else. Clips or flats, deadlifts or squats. Still arguing like it means a lot. Crank it up to 99. UK tracks with Euro lines. We're always slow, we talk a lot. But for real, this is all we've got. Late to the day, y'all.